For example, if this ear I wanted to build up and make it bigger, I would get some white filament and I could just create right over it. So that's another huge benefit of this pen that you can't do with a 3D printer. On today's video, we're going to look at the BeTIM 3D printing pen for both adults and children that will teach you the fundamentals of 3D and expand your children's creativity. So first we're going to show you how this works, and then I'm going to go and draw something in midair. Hey everybody, today we are opening up a 3D pen by BeTIM. It's a 3D pen for kids and adults. It features 12 PLA colors and it makes a great gift. Now it looks like a microphone. It feels very light. This is child friendly. It's a great starter to start learning how 3D printing or 3D creations work. What else comes in the package? So there are 12 10-meter PLA strips. There's some luminous colors, and then there's a bunch of random colors, from blues to blacks to whites to greens to oranges. PLA, if you don't know, is a little more eco-friendly. It's made from corn, so there's no toxic fumes released when you're burning this. Although if you're using ABS, you may find it cheaper. However, there is a little more issues with the smell, so I would recommend giving it to your children. Additionally, we have a long micro USB cord, which is used to turn on the pen by plugging it in here. As well, we have a stand for the pen, so when not in use, you place your pen on there, and then whatever excess is on the tip will probably just kind of drain down. We have a silicone tip so you don't burn yourself when you're cleaning the tip. And they provided two, which is kind of nice. You can also use them as hang puppets. Hello, I'm going to play with my pen today. We have our cube for plugging the micro USB into your wall. And we have a tool that allows us to make objects. I almost missed one thing in the packaging, which is this. This is a piece of plastic that you can work on with the filament and the pen, and then you can release it very easily. They provided you with some helpful templates to get you started. You can make a cactus, and the really neat thing is you use this template to draw directly over it with the filament. So you would get your orange filament and you would simply just start filling in the blank, and when it's done, you simply make sure it's a little flat, and then you scoop this up and you have yourself a piece. So these are flat objects, of course. Once you get a hang of the filament, then you can start creating things in 3D space. That is my recommendation, especially if you're teaching young children to do it. You have Mr. Owl, you have an island. Oh, this is a little more detailed. You have yourself a garden with a butterfly, and then you've got yourself a what is it, nutcracker soldier. Oh, there's more on the back. You have a bat, or micro USB cord. We're plugging it in, and right away it says PLA. Let's see what happens. All right, 31, 32. So this is your temperature right here, 163. Right, so this is pretty hot. So yeah, make sure you work with these things on. You don't want your kids to get burnt. Yeah, see, I can hold this as long as it's on the silicone. I think it took about 2 minutes for this to reach 200 degrees Celsius. You grab your filament, which will go through this loop here. Since this is a gift, I'm not going to go and open these up. Instead, I'm going to grab one of my existing rolls from my 3D printer. I'm going to go and use this filament, which is also PLA, just to create and test this out. All right, so I also have a 3D printer in the house, and these are some of the things that you can actually do with 3D printing. So this is a massive, Incredible Hulk that's printed off 3 parts. This actually took 4 days to print. You have things like this, right? So this is Batman, for example, and I could print this as big as the Hulk if I wanted to. Now, of course, you cannot create designs like this with this little pen, but what you can do is you can create accessories or fix things with this pen. For example, if this ear I wanted to build up and make it bigger, I would get some white filament and I could just create right over it. So that's another huge benefit of this pen that you can't do with a 3D printer, because with a 3D printer you would need to restart the entire printing process of this model. Additionally, you can create things like this. So these are just essentially put together things, so you can go and take these out, and it's like a little 3D puzzle. This is a old school Nintendo case, again printed in 2 different sets of filaments, and then this was inserted in. This particular pen has a couple of safety features built in. As you can see, even though it's on, I'm touching the tip. Now, a moment ago, maybe 3-4 minutes ago, this was hot to the touch, but now it's not. That is because there's a built-in sleep mode that turns the heating element in this pen off. To activate it, we simply press any button and it's going to start counting up again to 200 Celsius. Again, when it goes into sleep mode, it's essentially going to just drop down to 30 degrees, which is really warm to the touch. Oh, and right now already I can feel it getting hotter because we are at 85 already. The reason I got this particular pen for kids is because it got 100% positive reviews on Amazon. And if you guys know me, I buy everything on Amazon. So this is how it sort of sits in here. So let's take this and see if we can paint a little soldier here. Once your pen reaches 200 Celsius, you're gonna have a green light on. What you wanna do is you wanna feed your color through the back of the pen, which is right here. There's a little hole. You're gonna go and cut your filament on an angle there, and then you're gonna feed this in here. Now you can't push it all the way in. You can only sort of push it in a little bit, but then you need to activate the mechanism that's gonna feed this into the pen. To do that, you're gonna use this arrow and you're gonna start hearing this turning. There you go. And you can see that it's sort of feeding it on its own into the pen. You can sort of help it along, and there goes. Oh. All right, so, and there you go. So we're gonna stop it. So that is essentially how you activate, and it's not really that hot when you peel it off. And then you can see that it doesn't dry as instantly as the 3D printer, for example. Now we're gonna use this to clean the end off, right? You probably want to put one on your thumb. Once your filament is inside, you use this button to turn it on as you're drawing. Pressing it on again is going to stop it. If you want to reverse it and take this out, you press this, and then now it's just going to, well, I guess you could pull it out as well slowly. And that's, press this again, and that's how you take this out. But before you put this back in, you want to make sure obviously that you have a clean edge, and then we're going to put this back in. And again, to put it in, just press it in a little, then you press this, and then right away it's going to take it up. But remember, it's going to start coming out soon, so let's start drawing. Always clean off your tip when you're starting a new project. You're going to have a little patience in here because designs are going to take a while, and it's going to take some time to master this, but once you do, then you can do stuff in midair. So first we're going to show you how this works, and then I'm going to go and draw something in midair. So let's do this. Simply so what I'm doing is I'm simply show you here is I'm simply just filling in plastic over top of this. And then once I have enough, I'm going to peel this off, and this will be my first part. All right. So now we're going to just make sure it's so flat. You can feel the warmth through the back here. So you're going to have this flat, obviously. You have a little strings here, so we're going to just clear those off. Okay. Takes maybe 20 seconds for it to dry. And now, we're going to try taking this off. Maybe that's not going to work. You know what? I don't think I was supposed to do that. Oh, there it goes. Just got to wait a little longer for it to dry. And there you go. And then there's your first part printed. Then you keep going, and then you have all the parts to make your little soldier. So next, we're going to go and do something in midair. All right. So this is tile here, so it should have an easy way to come off. All right, here we go. Oh, well, you know, you need to kind of... Let's try this again. Get this right. It does take a little longer to dry up in 3D space than the more professional pens at $100 mark. But for kids to get started, this is definitely a really neat toy. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did find it helpful, please click helpful and like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Again, this is the 3D pen by BeTIM.